everyone, this is JJ Outlaw.
And this is T Outlaw.
And we are back with a new episode of the Gourmet Goober podcast. You can find me on Twitter at JJ Outlaw. That's my main place as of right now. Of course, with everything going on Twitter, we're not really sure how long that's going to function. But until then, I'm going to be there until the party's over. You can find me on Instagram at Gourmet Goober. And in every episode, I'm here with that dude, the Dark Desperado, the big man in charge, T Outlaw. Hey, how's it going?
That's me.
Yes.
Hey, kids, you can find me. I still tweet, at least for today, on Twitter at T Outlaw. That would be TOUTLAW because I can spell. And on Instagram at T Outlaw Chelsea Wells.
Yes, you can find us on Facebook, even though I admittedly hate Facebook, which is hilarious because I work in social media in my day job. I'm not sure how that works about, but if you want to go to Facebook, feel free. You can do so, and you can find us at the Gourmet Goober blog. Why, you ask? Because before we became a show, we were the Gourmet Goober, a food blog based here in Chicagoland. Which, by the way, did you know that we will be turning 10 years, the Gourmet Goober, as of next month? Did you know that?
No, I did not.
Yes. We are an OG of food blogging people. And of course, we turned that into a show. Speaking of that, the show, which put a pin in that, I'll go back and share some really cool news in a minute. But you can also send us a line, tell us about the show, share your favorite recipe, share with us the best thing you ate this week, and maybe we'll have it in the third section of our podcast. So you can do so at thegourmetgoober@gmail.com. You can buy some swag, help keep the lights on because we record from home. And you can do so at gooberswag.com. So yeah, we are just a one-stop shop of stuff.
Yes, please be kind.
Yes, please be kind. So, I mentioned the show is the show itself is not turning 10 years. The Gourmet Goober brand is turning 10 years old, which I'm so super psyched about. For those of you who are new, because I met quite a few cool people at a podcast convention that I went to for indie podcasters, I believe last week. Yeah, and it was really, really awesome. So shout out to all of you that I had a chance to connect with. But I got quite a few questions about my name and where it came from. But more importantly, they all went to my website and they're like, oh my gosh, there's recipes and stuff. I was like, yeah, we started off with a food blog. So it's amazing to think how my life has changed over the past 10 years when I just started my little section of the internet just to document my time away from the Chicago suburbs when I moved, over the border to Northwest Indiana. But that blog has totally changed my life. I mean, it gave me a new career. It gave me an opportunity to be on television, on radio. I did food tours throughout the Chicagoland area, to great acclaim. It's really amazing all that's happened because of that blog.
Yes, the Goober has transferred that into a great meet and greet social experience with a lot of really cool people.
Yes, and I've dragged you along the way.
A few times.
So,
kicking and dragging.
So whether or not we found ourselves judging the world's largest, what was it, the hog roast?
Oh, the hog fight.
The hog fight in Chicago.
Yes.
To getting treated to just a bowl of bacon at Fogo de Chao, where they waited on us hand and foot. That was kind of bizarre. To all the great, when season 52 was a presence here, and I was one of their selected bloggers to review, their new food items and things like that. To meeting Carla Hall and
Who still gives the best hugs.
Who gives the best hugs in the entire freaking world, yes. To Tyler Florence. To, like I said, our writing career. Oh my gosh. Remember the time that we found ourselves at this black tie event for the Chicago Auto Show?
Yes.
And I was like, yes, I'm going to dress all nice. You know, I had this really banging dress. And then I had this crazy idea that I was going to walk in high heels. And I was in my stocking feet in 10 minutes after I got there.
And amongst a whole lot of other women.
Mama don't do heels.
Yeah, she was definitely she started off with the super glam, super heels. And then I think she and a whole bunch of other ladies ended up walking around like Viola Davis.
Yeah. If you guys ever see, what was the name of the show, Viola? How to Get Away with Murder, right? Yes. And Viola Davis's character walking in heels. Baby, that's me. That is me in real life.
Once again, shout out to Viola Davis, our newest EGOT.
Woohoo! That's right. She just got an EGOT with her winning her Grammy. So, yes. But yeah, every time I see that sister walk across the room in those heels in that show, I'm like, look, I'm with you. I am built for comfort, not for speed. And that includes not walking around in heels. But I've always told you, as a fan of horror, wearing flats and sneakers, as I spend my days in, are very practical. Because if you see those movies, no one in The Walking Dead is teetering around in high heels, okay? They're all wearing shit-kicking boots and sneakers because you need to run those motherfucking zombies.
True.
So just know, I will at least survive that part of the zombie apocalypse because I'm not in high heels.
Yeah,
go ahead.
No, if it was left up to the Goober, she would oh, there are zombies coming. Oh, I'm glad I have my Converse on.
That's right. See, there you go.
Yes. Once again, recognition to Viola Davis for her EGOT, only because I don't want Viola Davis to come for me when I talk about her walking in them damn shoes.
No, I already said I do the same thing. There's no shade in my book. Okay. But the point I'm trying to make is I've had some really incredible experiences thanks to the blog. And when we decided to turn the blog into a podcast, it's really opened up a whole new set of experiences that we could never imagine. And we're so grateful for that. Including, you may notice that it's Black History Month.
It is.
And Apple Podcasts has chosen us to feature as Black podcast to follow in honor of Black History Month. So really? I'm really just shocked that we were selected.
I am too.
Especially since, some of the other podcast shows, just to give you an idea where our show sits. Okay. So if you're like me, I'm a huge podcast fan. I listen to a lot of podcasts that are hosted by people of color, particularly Black and brown and indigenous hosts, because I feel, we're part of a community that doesn't always get a lot of love when you think about who gets featured normally as podcast hosts. But a lot of the shows that I really love, the Black Guy Who Tips podcast is part of this elite group that Apple Podcasts is featuring and set across on this page. The Read, hosted by Kid Fury and Crystal Watts. They're the OG of podcasting in my book, and part of the reason why that we decided to take the jump and turn the Goober into a podcast. Nicole Byer, whose show is massive and is produced by, of all people, Conan O'Brien, is part of this list. So you have all of these shows that are well established, that are well produced, in the case of Nicole Byer, who has a lot of money. And then you have us. We're recording this at our dining room table as we speak.
Okay, I can only speak for me, but yes, I am very excited because yes, I am Black. I am black every month, and black every week. But yes,
exactly.
We are broke by broke.
So please, y'all, buy some swag, okay?
That's right. Initiate our frat. Yeah.
But even beyond that, it's just amazing because it feels really good to be recognized. Because just to tell you guys what happens behind the scenes, Big Daddy and I jumping on the mic in order to record, it's just some of the things that happen to put the podcast out. So even after we're done recording, I taught myself how to do the editing. You know, I found out how to take out an alarm a couple of weeks ago and just completely edit it out. And I was like, dude, I feel like Superwoman.
I give her a great deal of credit because if she can take out all of the doggy producers' barks and whines and screams, hey, you earn your stripes.
Yes. But beyond that, everything from planning, because we do have a production meeting. I know sometimes you listen to our show and it just seems like, oh, those people are just literally off the rails. And sometimes it is. But believe it or not, there's a method to our madness. And we put that together all week long. So from deciding what topics to discuss to even the images that gets placed on social media, you know, the uploads that I do for our YouTube page to our website and keeping that up to date. Yeah, I'm pretty much, we're like a 2-person party over here.
1.5.
So the idea that, why would you say 1.5?
1.5. I'm just here, to look good. I'm the trophy husband.
Okay. But the point I'm trying to make is there's just so much that happens behind the scenes to get the episode out. And then keep in mind, some podcasters have the luxury of this being their main job. We both have jobs that we have to do. We both have 40-hour weeks. So we negotiate all of that behind the scenes with full 40-hour weeks that we do. And then, yeah, it's a lot. So to be honored with those shows, it really was a wonderful surprise. So you guys can check it out. It's in the In Everything section at Apple Podcasts. I'll put a link of it to the show notes. And we just want to say thank you, Apple, for recognizing us. And certainly the listeners that are out there that probably brought us to Apple's attention, we're very, very grateful to you as well. So thank you.
Thank you so much. And we like to say to Apple, we give you such thanks for putting us, in that spot and recognizing us. We really appreciate it, and we will do our best to stay black as much as we can.
Well, I don't think Apple has anything to do that.
Okay, whoever put it together and recognized us, thank you.
We just go be black whether or not. That's just it.
Yeah, I can't really change that.
There's nothing that can help that.
No, you cannot.
So outside of that, how was your week, Big Daddy?
My week was pretty quiet. I know that we are kind of smooth and closer to Valentine's Day, which means, I have to, go look for, Valentine's flowers. And amongst other things, but for the most part, there's one. 2, I know we got a lot of things coming up in the upcoming weeks that we need to get ourselves together and work on. But for the most part, it is just good to be alive and in 2023 because it's beautiful out here. And we also like to give thanks for the weather for not being as crazy here as it is in other places.
Oh, yeah. We're really happy about that.
Yes.
As someone who lives close to Lake Michigan and all the fabulous, lake effect snow that comes with that, very happy about the weather.
Yeah, keeping our fingers crossed. It's not I mean, I know there's been a lot of problems out in the southeast and southwest of the United States and California, way out northwest, but so far, fingers crossed, we've been blessed not to get really crazy snow or freezing rain and stuff like that. But winter is not over. That groundhog still saw a shadow, and there's still foolishness afoot that we still have to wait for. We're just going to stay quiet, and hopefully it passes by us. One.
Big Daddy is mad as hell at that groundhog, let me just say.
Yeah, I sincerely brought the dog out on February 2nd. And if we saw a groundhog coming out of the ground, I was going to put Braxton on work.
And Braxton probably would have licked it to death.
He would have chased it first.
Well, yeah, that too.
You wouldn't have saw no shadow that day.
So, the Super Bowl is also coming up for you too, right?
That is correct. The Super Bowl 57 between the Kansas City Chiefs and the Philadelphia Eagles.
Now, I'm not going to be watching because we've talked about it before. I'm not an NFL fan for a number of reasons, but I know that you love football. So, is there anyone in particular you're going to be cheering for?
No. Pretty much once the Titans. Of course, the Bears, were never going to be in it. Because they have the number one pick in the NFL draft, unless they find a way to trade that away. But no, I don't really have a favorite. I mean, I know I have family in Kansas City. I have one or two friends in Philadelphia. But no, don't have a favorite. I'm pretty much just going for a really good game between two African-American quarterbacks. Yeah, give it up. One. But two, I mean, hell, there's the halftime show with Rihanna. And, of course, there are commercials. So that's pretty much what I'm rooting for.
Now, in terms of food, you'll actually be working though, right?
Yeah, I work almost every Super Bowl.
But, I usually try to make you something really nice when you're working from home, which we're both doing now, thanks to the Rona. I won't, well, not that you eat guacamole anyway. I was going to say I won't be able to make guacamole because my blender blew up earlier this week.
I'm not going to ask exactly how that happened.
All I know is I put the little thing down. It's one of those like bullet blenders, where you stuff everything in and you add liquid and you kind of lock it in place and it just runs automatically for like 90 seconds or however long it's preset to do.
Very loudly.
Yes, very loudly. And I know that this last time when I put it on there, it ate the bottom of the blender. I guess it was just like, no, lady, not another green smoothie. I am done. So no guac or no dip for you until I get another blender. But you were telling me that you usually... Well, I know you're very particular about your Super Bowl foods, right?
Yeah, technically I am. I mean, I'm open to all foods, but, for those who know me, know that I particularly like a lot of really good, of course, like chips. I'm not really a dip person, but I really admit that, yeah, sometimes I'll, hook up some mini corn dogs, with different sauces. I'm also a big fan of, getting, some really good, and I mean some really, really good, good chicken wings. I don't know. There's a part of me that wants to, consider, maybe turkey wings because, there's always a chicken wing shortage around this time of year. But, I'm always a big fan of some good wings.
Well, about that chicken wing shortage, we're going to talk about the next segment, what really happened probably to those chicken wings. So if there's none in your area, we may know where they are. And that's all I'm going to say. Stick around for the next segment.
Exactly. But yeah, I'm a really good fan of the wings, some good chips, some good drinks. I'm not really a person who drinks a lot of alcohol. So, always find a good, good thing to either blend or, just really get some good, things to hang out and vibe in. And for the most part, the mini corn dogs. That's pretty much my thing. What about you?
You said mini corn dogs 3 times, so I think you're telling me to get you mini corn dogs.
You ain't got to do a damn thing. I'm showing up, and there will be mini corn dogs in the house.
That's really. I'm listening to you, and I'm just like, he said mini corn dogs like 2 or 3 times. So really, this whole segment is really secretly telling his wife, "You were getting me mini corn dogs, right?"
Somehow, some way, there will be mini corn dogs in the house, whether you pick them up or I pick them up. Somehow, mini corn dogs will end up in the house somewhere this weekend.
Okay. So, ladies and gentlemen, I guess I'm getting mini corn dogs. I'm happy as long as there's wings. I wish they were lemon pepper Lou wings, which are the best wings in the world, I have to say.
Yes.
From Magic City.
But
yes, the adult establishment. We'll talk about that later.
In the ATL, shouts out.
But yes. So we know that there'll be good snacks and apparently mini corn dogs at our house.
That's okay. I'm good with that. Because that's what makes the Super Bowl nice and bright.
Nice. So I tell you what, why don't we take a break? Why, I guess search the internet for some mini corn dogs. When we come back, we will be talking about the chicken wings as far as 3 stories that meets the cross-section of food and pop culture. And you're going to want to stick around for the story because when we talked about it in our production meeting, we laughed literally for at least a good 20 minutes. It's one of those stories that it made us laugh initially for 20 minutes, right? And then, hours later at dinner, one of us is like cutting into dinner and we look at each other and we start laughing again because it was just that hilarious. Because we stand a legend. That's all I gotta say. Hopefully you'll join us in that feeling. So you're listening to the Gourmet Goober podcast. We will be right back.
Hi, I'm Carrie.
And I'm Emily.
And we're the hosts of A Dark Cup of History, a spin-off series to our regular podcast, A Nice Cup of History, where we dive headfirst into the weird and paranormal aspects of the world we all live in.
If you want to know your woman in red from your woman in white, or precautions to take against demonic dolls, and just where to go to find Black Shuck on a moonlit night, why not give us a listen?
Together we talk about the dark, creepy, and downright terrifying parts of our history and folklore, as well as what you should do if you ever encounter any of them.
Interested? Come and find us on Buzzsprout, Apple iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, Pandora, iHeartRadio, and pretty much anywhere else you get your podcasts.
So turn on the lights, grab a blanket and some rock salt,
and let's get dark.
Hey everyone, this is JJ Outlaw.
And T Outlaw.
And we are back with the second section of the Gourmet Goober podcast. This is what we call What's Eating Us, where we share 3 stories that sit at the intersection of food and pop culture. Sometimes they make us laugh, sometimes they make us think. I have to say, this group of stories definitely fell into the laugh section of what we once shared, that it probably was the best pre-production meeting that we've had in a long time, just trying to decide which stories to share with everybody.
Because everyone is very much unique.
Exactly. It's funny because we normally, just to show you how the sausage is made, when we put together the stories and what to present, we share the stories with each other all week long. Like we send each other texts like, oh my God, you have to see this. Oh my God, you have to check this out. And we usually try to, although we're not successful. I don't know if you guys have noticed, but we usually try to have like a theme that ties the stories together, right? There's like a natural as to what we select. This time, they're just completely random, but we love the story so much we have to share.
Yeah, connection is crazy.
Yes, and the third story, I just love it because what I just discovered while I was researching the story. But we'll talk about that later, okay? So first up, we're going to talk about Oreos, which have been on supermarket shelves. I don't know if you know this. Oreos have actually been around since the early 1910s.
1910?
Yes. In fact, early 1912 is the first time that supermarket shelves have sold Oreos.
Really?
Yeah, that's crazy. So it's, according to Food and Wine, it's been around for a long time. And so over 100 years later, it's, crazy to imagine, but they're still going strong. It's one of the oldest snacks that are out there. And they're still putting out wild ass flavors, like the Neapolitan, the Snickerdoodle, which, by the way, we never gave you the chance to try the Snickerdoodle, right?
No.
Big Daddy loves the Snickerdoodle.
I love Snickerdoodles. Snickerdoodles are my love language.
So earlier this week, or last week to be exact, Oreos decided to let people know that they were coming out with another limited edition flavor, which has pretty much been a way that they've kept the brand going and revitalized the brand for some time now. And get this, it is called the Most Oreo. Let that sink in. The Most Oreo of Oreos.
It's like the most outrageous of outrageous.
Well, it's like a meta Oreo. That's what they're calling it. It's a meta Oreo.
Or it could be the most basic of basics.
No. It's not basic. We've talked about this. I actually surprised they've not come up with this before. Okay.
Okay.
So what this is, which they call a meta cookie, which I love it, takes 2 chocolate flavored base cakes, which, by the way, I love it when I learn new things, kind of like the Sniglet and learning that the dust from Cheetos is called Cheetle.
Right.
Well, the name for the top and the bottom of the Oreo cookie is called base cakes. Okay? So they take 2 chocolate flavored base cakes, and in between they put an extra large, most stuff amount of cream filling in between it. But it's not just regular cream, Oreo cream. No. The cream has actual bits of Oreos in it. So it's an Oreo stuffed Oreo cookie. Mind blown.
I thought that was full of random Crisco.
Okay. Technically, the Oreo cream is random Crisco that has other stuff in it, which is why that I choose not to eat a lot of Oreos, because even though I love Oreos, knowing what's in it and realizing that my waistline would not like it, I normally avoid Oreos. And you're right. A lot of it is what's, that cream is based in Crisco.
I'm just intrigued because, Oreos are very good.
Oh, they're hella good.
And they usually are used or, crunched up to make, concoctions that are, made in other bakery dishes. But now they're we're going to, co-opt that, and we're going to, make an Oreo out of the stuff that you used to make other stuff out of. We're just going to make an Oreo out of another Oreo. It's like a mystery built in a quandary, built in a maze.
No. You know what it is, right? Remember that line from Tropic Thunder? I'm the dude playing the dude disguised as another dude.
I'm the dude next to the other dude.
No!
Playing by the other dude disguised as the dude. I'm that dude.
You always get the line wrong. Okay, you guys.
So did he.
He didn't get it wrong. It's his line.
I know.
We're obsessed with Tropic Thunder. Oh my God, Big Daddy. That's another conversation for another day. Robert Downey Jr., if this ever gets to you, your character in that movie is so wrong and yet so funny. We stand a legend. Okay? But I'm the dude playing the dude. Big Daddy will quote that all the time, but then he gets it wrong all the time.
Yeah, but it's so much fun if you just take it all the way around. But yeah, it was just scary because of what he had to do to become the character. But at the same time, yes, it was one of the craziest movies out there. But anyway.
So it's kind of like that.
Yes.
So, okay. So the cookie enough is mind blowing. But then what they decide to do is they're using the cookie to launch something that is called the Oreoverse, which is its online metaverse experience. So you go to the Oreoverse where you can play cookie-themed games and try for a chance to win a grand prize of $50,000.
$50,000.
So imagine how many Oreos you can buy with $50,000. Quite a bit.
You can buy a car and slap the word Oreo.
That is true. It'll still be a better idea than when the Miami police decided to. Oh my God! Did you see that? For Black History Month, they decided to do a Black History Month police car. The Miami police did.
Okay, I know this foolishness is about to be a thing.
Yo, it even has kente cloth on it.
Oh, good Lord! I make it stop, Daddy.
I know. I saw that and I was like, please don't celebrate with us. You are not allowed to celebrate Black History Month with us. No, go back to your regularly scheduled lives. Leave us out of that. But anyway, I guarantee you the car that you came up with the Oreo for $50,000, probably a better idea. And you can pick up other Oreos for any money left over from the $50,000.
That is true.
So, according to Julia Rosenblum, who is actually an Oreo senior brand manager, they did this because Oreo is a cookie that begs to be played with, and so we wanted to create new opportunities for our fans to connect with each other and share that playful spirit. And the more Oreo cookie, oh my God, say that 3 times fast. The most Oreo cookie gives fans a new way to playfully engage with us. So if you wanted to actually check it out, I'll put a link to the cookie, or I'll put a link to the Oreoverse itself. And we looked at it before we hopped on the mic.
Yes.
A lot of it, okay, I'm just going to talk for me. I don't really understand the appeal of the metaverse because they've tried versions of the metaverse before, like, real life, and it just seems like an updated version of IRC when we were in college.
That's a shot way back from the past.
Yes. That said, if you wanted to go to it, it does look pretty cute. So there's like a giant thing of milk that you can dunk your Oreos in, and yeah, there's just a whole bunch of features and games you can go on it. The most Oreo cookies, they've started pre-registering so you can order yourself because it's a limited time offer. I think it's only offered at Walmart and Target. As of the recording of this podcast, if you go to walmart.com, they're sold out. But I didn't tell you this, right? There's still some available at Target. You can't pick them up in your local stores yet, but you can have them shipped to you. Guess who's getting their own most Oreo? Dude, are you clapping next to the mic? But yes, you. I ordered one because, dude, I can't not have a most Oreo cookie. I want the experience.
Yeah, we at least need to partake of it and speak about it in future episode.
Only for research, of course.
Exactly. Only for research.
Yeah, this is because we're foodies here at the Gourmet Goober podcast, and we know that not everyone can get their hands on the most Oreo. And we'll put a link again in the show notes, so if you want to try to score your own, you can. These limited edition ones need to go really fast. That said, we'll try and share our thoughts.
I agree. I concur. I'll tell you how I feel after I eat it.
So, first of all, how do you feel about the most Oreo? And then do you think this would open up a trend, right? So maybe, I know you came up in like our production meeting, like the most pizza. It's where they'll have a pizza stuffed with another pizza.
Yes. Because one of the things I have, and I know that we make fun of, I guess other people make fun of the fact that, Chicago's somewhat famous for their deep dish pizzas. But the thing about a good pizza stuffed with something is like, you could literally stuff anything inside of a pizza.
True. Very true.
Yeah. Because, trust me, a lot of people have put a lot of different toppings on a pizza. So you say to yourself, make one big pizza, and you just throw the kitchen sink plus 3 other things in it. So I endorse, the most pizza of pizzas.
But remember, it has to be meta, so it's not just in toppings. It has to have another pizza in it.
Yes, that's why I'm like, I'm going to throw a New York-sized pizza, because it's thin, inside of a Chicago pizza, mixed in with the quandary of a California pizza.
So it's like a turducken of pizza.
Yes. With
First of all,
twist.
how big would this pizza slice be?
You can make jokes because, once again, you make fun of Chicago pizza, but thus it's piled higher than a lot of things that it's going to be a big pie. We're going to say that.
Yes. Yeah.
So I fully endorse that. But yes, I endorse, the most pizza of pizza, and the sausage of sausages. A sausage inside of another sausage. Disguised as a sausage. I believe in this sausage.
They should actually call that sausage Tropic Thunder.
Yes. I would endorse the Tropic Thunder sausage. The most burgerified burger. I believe in that myself. It's like a burger inside of another burger. So it'd be like a Juicy Lucy.
But instead of cheese, it's another burger.
That's right.
And see, that intrigued our dog so much, he actually got up and he's here. Our doggy producer wants to say he approves this message.
Yeah, as soon as he heard meat, he shows up.
He was snoring on the couch 5 minutes ago, just to give you guys some context.
As always.
Which kind of challenges me because I don't know how I'm going to get rid of that. But yeah. So, thank you, Oreos, for creating something that is so crazy that we will have to try to report back to everybody. Because we're helpers.
Yes, we are. And I'm also going to reveal the other confession I have about Oreos.
What?
I have a confession about Oreos.
Where did this come from? I never...
No, I've always had it since I was real little. But I don't know if I'm going to reveal it. I might reveal it later on.
Well, you can't just say something like that and then...
I'm going to leave it hanging.
Okay, we're going to talk about what's a perfect cliffhanger, what's not. Because I'm your wife and I don't know what you're about to say.
Every time I'm hanging around you, I'm like, I shock you. So, why not add more to the tale?
I have to say, I'm not sure if shock is the proper context.
Okay, horrify.
Horrify might be closer to it, like when we watch Purple Rain, I'm like, wait, you're not cheering for the kid? How do you watch the movie and cheer for the time?
Because they're a tremendous funk man that was upstaged by a petulant, rocker dude with daddy issues.
So, I fear just discovering that about you will further make me wonder why we got married, and maybe I should have asked more questions.
Yes. I would say so, but if you want to hint, this kind of goes back to our ice cream cone discussion.
I don't know if people understand. I've never shared the ice cream cone discussion.
Okay. We'll talk about it later.
Okay. To be continued. So, outside of that, the second story, because normally I try to do a bridge between stories. There is no bridge. We are including this story because it literally made us laugh for 15 minutes. Because as we talk about standing a legend, this next person is truly in my heart of hearts.
While she is incarcerated.
The real MVP. So this is the story that actually took place in a Chicago suburb of Harvey, where a former official in a school district named Vera Liddell, she's actually the former director of food services at Harvey School District 152. And she was recently indicted because they found that she had a very...
Say it.
She has a very distinct love, we think, of chicken wings. And I know you're thinking, I love chicken wings. Most of you who are out there, you've probably had a really good chicken wing, right?
America loves chicken wings.
Yeah, America apparently loves chicken wings so much that we reported in a previous story of our podcast during the pandemic, you might recall, where there was a shortage of chicken wings, where it was so bad that places like Wingstop, which, you know, wings in the name, they actually stopped serving chicken wings and briefly served chicken thighs, and they rebranded themselves Thigh Stop, right? So you're probably wondering, where the hell did all the chicken wings go? Because comedian Cat Williams puts it so eloquently, it's not like you see all these chickens running around with thighs but no wings attached.
Right.
There are apparently wings somewhere. We just need to know where they are. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we have had that answer for you. Because Vera Liddell stole more than $1.5 million worth of chicken wings from Gordon's Food Service. Over 11,000 cases of chicken wings.
That is a great deal. Let me emphasize, a great deal of chicken wings.
11,000 cases of chicken wings. Now, this alleged scheme actually happened during the height of the COVID pandemic, where I don't know, because I know that a lot of schools around the country, they were fighting closures related to COVID, but Illinois were not one of the schools, right? So they closed their schools on state order and was mostly done by virtual learning. So despite the fact that children were learning remotely, from July 2020 to February 2022, she placed hundreds of unauthorized orders for food items, including 11,000 cases of chicken wings alone, for which the district was billed more than $1.5 million through school district vendor Gordon Food Service. The purchases were made separately from legitimate orders made by the school district.
Okay.
So Gordon Food Service believed that all the purchases were authorized and they billed the district for everything. And the district paid the bills, including the one for the unauthorized service purchases. But what happened was, in January, they conducted an audit.
Of course they did.
And that's when they discovered, like, yo, we're over $300,000 over our annual budget, with the school year being only half over. What's going on? So surveillance video showed that she would show up at Gordon's Food Service to pick up the food orders and leave with them in a district cargo van. So not only did she steal the chicken, but she, quote unquote, borrowed the van to legitimize the order.
She borrowed the company vehicle and took, picked up these purchases.
Now, here's the kicker, okay? If this is not insane enough, the school district doesn't even serve chicken wings to students because they contain bones.
That's right.
Think about it. When you were a kid, if you have children, if you went to school yourself, when was the last time when you were in school that you had chicken wings? You never have chicken wings. They usually have, like, the boneless kinds, right? The nuggets.
Right.
Because kids could choke on them.
This is like Scottie Pippen. Like, I'm not paying for the bones. Well, apparently the city of Harvey did.
Literally paid for the bones. So, they don't even do it. And then the crazy part still, they don't know what she did with
11,000 cases of chicken wings. Well, apparently, I would like to believe you can't really eat 11,000 cases of chicken. Maybe you could, because we all love, eating the bones, slapping them dry in the end, like, tossing them. But, okay, I have a theory.
Oh, okay. I'd love to hear this.
Okay, this is insider information from me, but...
It's like Gladys at the swap meet, like Cheryl Underwood says on the talk, right?
Yeah, so I might have heard from the swap meet. You know how we talk about Lemon Pepper Lou and, like, his wings?
Yeah.
And where those wings are sold? Okay, so I admit that in my younger days, there's a club in Harvey that has gone by different names, but it's a club of a certain set of establishments.
I.e. an adult entertainment strip club.
A striptease establishment that you might find Taggart and Rosewood at.
Wait. I watched The Real Housewives of Potomac, and there's a character by the name of Mia. And they asked if Mia was a stripper, and Mia said no. I was a dancer and entertainer at a restaurant that served wings.
Yes.
So that is what this establishment was. If they don't get the Rosewood and Taggart line, which, by the way, I love the reference. Thank you. I'm like Captain America. I understood that reference.
Which tells us how old we are. But yes, I have been to this establishment a few times in my younger days, and I have had the wings at this establishment from way back, and the wings were actually fairly decent.
And of course, you just went for the wings, right?
Oh no, I went to see the wings. I went to see the breasts and the thighs, and
that sound you now hear is Jennifer her JJ hitting Big Daddy,
amongst other things. But yes, big fan, of the drums. But yes, I would like to believe that she had to supplement her income, and apparently she might have made a few purchases in order to supplement the chicken at said establishment.
Oh my gosh. So, there's one thought. Although I'm wondering if maybe she just straight out sold them. Like, I can see her on the street with, like, boxes of chicken wings, underneath her jacket. Michigan Avenue, want a wing? Want to buy a box?
I got a box for you. This is almost like, selling Girl Scout cookies.
It literally fell off the van.
Yeah. I got a box for your Super Bowl, get together. I can get you a special box.
You know who would appreciate that? It's okay. What's her name's character on Avid Elementary? The one who's like really tough.
Semenchi?
Yes. She would probably.
Wait a minute. Are we talking about Melissa?
Yeah. Yeah, it's Melissa.
Okay. Got supplement your income doing things.
See, Melissa would appreciate this.
Yeah, because I'm like thinking, if you're talking about Abbott Elementary, I'm thinking like, Miss Howard probably would not go for that. That's not her thing.
Miss Howard would probably be the one driving off in the bus with the wings. Let's be clear. That would be the scam she would do.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. You're saying Miss Howard would do?
Not Miss Howard.
Melissa.
No, not Melissa. The principal.
Oh,
Ava.
Okay.
Ava would do that. Sorry, I misspoke.
Yes, in a minute.
Ava would do that in a minute. Ava's probably reading this go, damn, why did I think of that? Have a side hustle a week. She'd open up the elementary for wings as a wing restaurant on weekend.
Yeah, that I would purely appreciate. That is definitely an Ava Coleman thing.
Yes, that is Ava. Avid list writers, if you're listening, here's a freebie because we love your show. All we ask is Quanta be a gas. But yes, 11,000 cases of chicken wings. So we don't know where the chicken wings went. We now know that she's probably single-handedly responsible for the chicken wing shortage in Chicagoland. And for that, Vera Little, we stand a legend. Thank you.
Even though, did we ever figure out what the state of Illinois has done with beer?
Here's the thing. Right now, Vera is awaiting trial. But as of yet, we never figured out what happened to the wings. So yeah, that is totally insane. That whole story. We had a lot of fun trying to figure out what she did with the 11,000 cases of wings. Although now that I didn't know about that Harvey restaurant with entertainment.
Yeah, there's a lot of things about that club that were interesting, but at the same time, that was way in my past. I know nothing about that now.
Hey. No judgment. No judgment. Dude, you're talking to someone who one time gave you Magic City wings. What was it? As a Valentine's Day present?
Was it Valentine's or was it anniversary?
It was anniversary.
And it was one of the greatest anniversary gifts I have ever received.
Yes, so clearly I have no issues with that. And by the way, ladies, if you would like to order the Magic City wings, it's on Goldbelly. That's all I gotta say. Best wings ever. Thank you, Lemon Pepper Lou.
I would like to say, as a person who has received this, I would personally endorse the wings. I am a fan. And for all you ladies out there, if you want to get that, for a Valentine's Day gift for your man.
Or your woman. Hey, we
or
don't
your
judge.
woman. Hey, I'm
if
not
they
discriminating.
like wings, hey, whoever, they some sexy wings.
They are some sexy wings. And trust me, your significant other or that man you hanging out with, or woman, they will very much appreciate it.
Yes. So, speaking of gifts, one gift that I probably wouldn't want, so like my transition here, is Peeps. I think we've talked about my dislike of Peeps on the show. That said, I know that Peeps are huge, have a huge fan base. So the third story we want to talk about briefly was the passing of the person who is known literally as the father of Peeps. His name was Bob Bourne. He is actually the second generation owner of a candy company called Just Bourne Quality Confections. And you guys may have heard of them because they, of course, are the main and only producer of Marshmallow Peeps. But then they also produce Mike and Ike's, which we've all had, and Hot Tamales. So he passed away at the age of 98 on January the 29th. So we want to take a moment to remember him because obviously, even though I've talked openly on the show that I think Peeps come from like the third ring of hell, and I'm not a fan at all. I know enough people, and I have enough people in my life who truly love Peeps that we thought it would be worthwhile to share the story because he's a very interesting person, in my opinion.
Okay.
And not only did he is largely credited for inventing Peeps, but if you are like my friend from college who totally was like devoted to hot tamales, believe it or not, he invented hot tamales too. As well as,
first of all, are we talking about hot tamales, the candy, or hot tamales as in hot tamales?
Oh no, the candy. He didn't actually do the hot tamales.
Okay, we just wanted to make sure we clarified.
In case Tucker heard us. Tuckums. Like the tacos, who he believes that's part of, he invented that, his culture. No, he did not. No, he can't take credit for actual hot tamales, but hot tamales to candy, yes, he did. And he also was an engineer, that he was really smart with machinery because it used to be, I guess, that they made Marshmallow Peeps by hand, and it took 27 minutes to make 27 hours, to make a single box of marshmallow Peeps. And so he got in there, designed the machinery to mass manufacture the Peeps. And it went from 27 hours per box to just 6 minutes per box.
6 minutes is still a pretty large time to make one box of Peeps.
Yeah, but when you think about the massive drop in, what it takes to produce one from 27 hours to 6 minutes, that's still an improvement. Gotta give him his roses for that. So outside of it, I guess he was well known in the community, so much so that, and this is true, I guess his full name again, it was Ira Bob Bourne. But he went largely by Bob. And in the factory, where the factory is housed in Bethlehem, Pennsylvania, there is a Bob Bourne Day, which in their community officially kicks off the first day of the Easter season.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah. So I thought it was kind of interesting. I mean...
So how exactly do you celebrate Bob Bourne Day?
You know what? That's a good question.
Like, do you just go around and be like, yeah, we're just going to start, just overdosing on Peeps until Easter, and at that point, we're so sick of them. We're like, well... Either that or we go to the dentist.
Well, I figured the dentist probably celebrates that too.
I agree.
I imagine Bob Bourne Day has a lot of Peeps involved. So, since he credited Peeps, yeah, it's sort of fascinating how he became synonymous with this particular candy. And the company itself, which is Just Bourne, was founded by his father, Sam Bourne. They've been around for over 100 years. And believe it or not, they produce all of this as far as providing the entire world with Peeps, with just 600 employees. In fact, according to the company's website, Peeps are actually the #1 non-chocolate brand for Easter for over 20 years. And it's still family run. So even though Bob is no longer with us, I guess... Ross Bourne was the CEO, and then, someone named David Schaefer took over. So, yes, they are just all part of this.
Okay. So, I guess my question is because, so Peeps, as famous as they are, they basically sell more Peeps than jelly beans around Easter?
Well, I don't know about that, but they would have to, outside of chocolate, according to this. Which is terrifying, because that means that many people love Peeps.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm not sure why our dog is going to town on my arm at this moment. Raki, are you wanting to give your opinion about Peeps? Our doggy producer has some thoughts, apparently. So with Bob's passing, wanted to share some interesting things about Peeps to be able to honor him and his contributions.
Okay.
So, for example, since Peeps have been developed, they have been known for, of course, the standard flavor, which again, in my opinion, is the 12 rings of hell. But people really like Peeps so much that they actually produce, just like the Oreos that we talked about earlier, limited flavors. So according to Mental Floss, the top 12 weird flavors you can get each Easter for Peeps include Blueberry Delight, Fruit Punch Peeps, also known as Red Kool-Aid Peeps, for those of us in the know.
Yes.
Of course, there is your standard Pumpkin Spice Peeps. I will not say a word.
There are so many jokes, I just can't make them right now.
I know, there are so many jokes. We're going to move on. There is a Cotton Candy Peeps, Sour Watermelon Peeps, of course, Bubblegum Peeps, which I have tried, and I wanted to punch the person who gave that to me, Party Cake Peeps, Red Velvet Peeps, Pancakes and Syrup Peeps.
Okay, I would like to only ask the people who make Peeps. So when you come out with chicken and waffles Peeps,
Do you really want a chicken and waffles, Peeps?
No, I just thought it sounded good because a peep looks like, a chick. And, well, either that or like, some kind of like, egg flavored. Okay, never mind. I'm going off on a bad tangent
I
here.
was about to say, it would be disturbing to have like a chicken and then just have like a piece of wing or a leg or thigh be the chicken and waffle. I don't think that's going to work very well.
I'll just take flavor.
There's a caramel apple Peeps, sweet lemonade Peeps, and they have a mystery flavor.
Okay, wait a minute. A mystery flavor.
Yes, each Easter season, Peeps release a selection of just plain white Peeps, challenging customers to guess the flavor. So if you wanted to pick up your box, they come out exclusively at Walmart. And what happens is you can even tweet the Peeps at at Peeps brand using hashtag mystery Peeps. And then you can share your thoughts on the flavor. Again, I don't want to look. They all taste like ass to me, so I don't even want to talk about that.
I don't know. Maybe they're making Peeps inside of other Peeps, disguised as Peeps.
Okay, you know what? I love it. That's the closest that you've ever got to the actual quote. So yes. So, just so you know, Peeps, like I said, was once made by hand. Did you know the first Peep actually had wings? So the candy manufacturer wanted to update their look. And this has actually come from the Farmer's Almanac, which also has facts about Peeps. According to their maker, the number of Peeps produced every year, if they are lined up, would circle the Earth twice. That is a lot of Peeps.
That is a lot.
That's a terrifying amount of Peeps.
But then, of course, you could take all these Peeps, put them together, and make flotation devices out of them.
Now, to answer your question about the Peeps and how they used to celebrate it, in Bethlehem, Pennsylvania, where Peeps were born, Peeps are so popular that they do not drop a ball every year on New Year's Eve. They drop a giant Peep.
Is a Peep edible?
I'm not really sure. But they drop a giant Peep.
I like that. It's the annual dropping of the Peep.
Exactly.
As you're watching a big yellowish looking confection just drop, and you're like, ooh. Have you ever eaten a Peep frozen?
Actually, no. Have you?
It's interesting with ice cream. I will say that.
You know what? That might be a way to tolerate a Peep. Speaking of eating Peeps, did you know that 2/3 of people who eat Peeps bite the head off first? And people actually do eat them frozen a lot, along with microwaving them, getting them stale first, or apparently this is really popular, believe it or not, putting them on pizza.
Why?
I don't know.
I mean, okay, I'm always good for whatever, but like, I think every pizza I have ever had, with very few exceptions, has always been savory of some sort. Now I'm intrigued what adding a Peep to a pizza would do.
You know what? I would almost try that. Because think about over the years all the sweet and savory connections that we have done.
Like chicken and waffles.
Oh, no. Like, remember the time that we made the peanut butter burger, the peanut butter cheeseburger.
Yes.
Yes. For those of you who don't know, we started off as a food blog. And so over the years, we have actually tried some interesting pairings, which you can actually discover if you go to the gourmetgoober.com. But we have done a lot of unexpectedly sweet and savory things. So why not add a Peep to a pizza?
because my answer to that would be like it would come across as the seventh ring of
The seventh ring of hell.
ooh. No, I can't do it. I'm sorry.
The last thing I just wanted to point out, and this goes back to what I said before. Well, actually, there's two things. One, if you hate peeps like me and researching the story, just so you know, there are Facebook groups that are out there that are dedicated to hating peeps. And there's actually a working hashtag that can be found on Instagram, tagging photos of marshmallow peeps meeting their demise. So you can use the hashtag Peeps Massacre and amuse yourself by all of the various ways that people have taken joy in fucking up peeps. So to those who produce that content out there, thank you for the laugh. But
Okay,
then,
I fully endorse this. At least the latter.
the other thing that's interesting to know is the maker of Marshmallow Peeps, this Just Born candy, they are known for one more thing.
Okay, what's that?
They manufacture sprinkles.
Sprinkles.
Yes.
I love sprinkles.
So if you've ever had sprinkles on an ice cream cone, a cupcake, you can thank the people at Just Born who actually invented the sprinkles. Or, as they are known to them,
In New England?
yes, because sprinkles are not the real name of sprinkles. They're called Jimmies.
I'm sorry. Jimmy's.
Jimmies.
Like Fallon, like Kimmel,
Yes.
like Stewart, like Carter.
Yes. And this is funny because when I shared this with Big Daddy, we're the generation where let's just say we were around for the early days of hip hop. And Jimmy's had another name when we were kids.
Well, they went back. They were, what's our word here? They basically, Jimmy was a colloquialism.
For a condom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The J, the M, the M, the Y. Yeah.
Yeah. So when we read that, we both literally laughed for 15 more minutes at our production meeting. And figuring out that perhaps the name went from Jimmy's to Sprinkles because, in certain hoods across the country, telling people that we're going to put Jimmy's on your ice cream probably didn't go as well as they thought it would. But if you're in New England, apparently that's what they call Sprinkles. Jimmy's.
Which tells me a lot about New Englanders.
Why, yes, I'm pretty sure they were not consumers of the early days of hip-hop. Otherwise, they probably would have changed that.
Yes. Fully.
I tell you, there would be no easier way to fuck some things up by putting the actual Jimmys, as we know them, on a cupcake.
Now with Jimmy's. That would go so wrong so quickly.
Yes. So for all of us here, thank you for inventing the sprinkles. That makes up for you creating the peeps. And thank you for changing that name. And for Bob, thank you for at least creating a treat that, even though I don't appreciate, apparently thousands of people, or millions of people around the world definitely do. So I tell you what, we are going to take a break, and then when we come back, we're going to close out the show, we always do, talking about the best thing we ate this week. So you're listening to the Gourmet Goober podcast. We will be right back. Hey guys, this is JJ Outlaw.
And T Outlaw.
And we're the co-hosts with the Gourmet Goober podcast with a very important question.
Are you a little gourmet or a lot wretched?
Or maybe you consider yourself gumbo worthy. Hey, if the answer is yes to any of those questions, then you need to tell the world with your very own Goober swag. From mugs and aprons to t-shirts and sweatshirts, it's the perfect way to show your love for the Gourmet Goober podcast and, help us keep the lights on in the process. So if you are a little bit gourmet and a lot wretched, head on over to gooberswag.com, that's gooberswag.com, and get your very own Goober gear today. Tell him Big Daddy sent you.
That's right. Tell them.
Hey everyone, this is JJ Outlaw.
And T Outlaw.
And we are back with the third section of the Gourmet Goober podcast called The Best Thing We Ate This Week. That's where we share recipes, restaurants, our favorite places, everything in between, whether it's a food truck, a hole-in-the-wall dive, you name it. If there's good food there, we will tell you about it. So this week, we will be sharing, it sounds like 2 recipes, which is weird.
Okay.
Well, we normally don't do it that way, but that's just how it kind of worked its way out. Well, I tell you what, why don't you start first?
Okay.
And then I will share my choice.
Okay. The best thing I ate this week kind of came about because the Goober had asked me about some bacon that she had in the refrigerator that was towards the end of its... It needed, to be used up before it started changing condition. So she said, hey, we can do this or that. And I'm like, okay, I'll just kind of thumb around the internet and see if I can find something that was semi-healthy. And, of course, me being the most semi-healthy, I just kind of came across this one random recipe for garlic rice with bacon bits that I just kind of threw together with the bacon and a little bit of broth. I kind of threw it together real quick from the recipe. I fully admit I'm very bad with recipes, but I just kind of got it together when in the kitchen, decided try not to burn it down, and I came across something that was actually very, very good. Now, I mean, take it for granted, yes, it involves bacon, and it was filling, because it also used white rice, and I'm usually a brown rice person, but for the most part, it was absolutely delicious to me, and the best thing I ate this week.
No, it was really, really great. I have to say, it was a side dish, but we ate more of it than the rest of the meal, because I know you served it with vegetables and a couple other things, but...
Yeah, I tried to stay healthy, but at the same time, yes.
Hey, you put in vegetables. For you, that is work.
Yes, it was. I had to do what I gotta do, but I usually I'm not a side dish person, because usually I'm dealing with the protein, but for the most part, I actually made it through in one piece. So, it was the best thing I ate this week.
Now, did you follow a recipe, or did you just use the recipe as a base and just kind of went from there? Because I do that all the time, where I start with the recipe and then it's just sort of like a happy accident that it turned out as great as it did.
We'll go on the happy accident part of the program. There are things that I usually don't do. Usually my rice, when I make it, is always separate. I never really, until I have to, because I'm always bad with making, rice, that I just threw it together, and the happy accident occurred. So that was the best explanation I could give you.
That is a good point, because normally when it comes to stuff like that, you don't like mixing your food. He's very much a separate rice kind of thing. When I make him gumbo, when I used to travel all the time and make gumbo, the gumbo, the soup, the stew base, or whatever you want to call it, the gumbo part, is supposed to be eaten with the rice. And you always ate them separately. I could never understand why I would make you a whole week's worth of gumbo and it would be gone in 2 days. And then I realized, oh, well, I just ate that and the rice separately. No, the rice is supposed to help stretch the gumbo. You never figured that out. So the idea that you serve me a rice dish that's all mixed together, I have to admit, I was kind of impressed with that.
No,
that is growth.
Now, if someone serves me gumbo, with the rice mixture involved, yeah, I mean, I eat it and I
That's
enjoy
the way
it.
it's supposed to be eaten.
So anyway, in terms of gumbo, yes, pretty much if it's served to me like, mixed together, then yeah, I eat it and I enjoy it. But if, putting together like, in a container, if there's rice over here and then there's gumbo over here, somehow as you would say, the soup or the stew and the rice kind of stay separated, because I'm a military man who's never been in the military, and I like military meals. I like, the separate, but equal.
Okay,
portions.
LL Cool J from Toys. We get it.
Exactly.
Well, my choice for the best thing we ate this week actually was a recipe that I made, and I will be sharing that recipe on our website because I love it that much. I don't know if you guys are a fan of gnocchi. Gnocchi is something that I love, but you have to have it prepared in a certain way for me to really get into it. I actually came across a packet of gnocchi because we subscribe to Imperfect Foods. And I think I talked about this on the show, where the idea with Imperfect Foods is there's stuff that is close to the end of their shelf life. Maybe there's extra food that would have been destroyed, for example, and they repackage those items and sell it to consumers to help eliminate waste. Now, I recently learned that they were acquired by another company that does the same thing, Misfits Foods. So if you guys are listening and think, oh, that sounds like Misfits Foods, that's because, one, it is the same idea, and two, Misfits Foods, I guess, recently acquired Imperfect Foods. So, hey, what I'm talking to you would definitely affect you as well if you're a part of that. So, I like Imperfect Foods because, again, it helps me get, fruits and vegetables and healthy things shipped to us, especially a lot of items that, unfortunately, due to where we live in our neck of the woods and the Midwest, we don't always get our hands on. So in this case, one of the great items that they packed in my box that I kept was the gnocchi. And I thought, what would go great with gnocchi? Well, I prepared a creamy chicken and spinach gnocchi. And it was really a great recipe. Again, I'll share it. The fabulous thing about it is you can prepare it all in one pan, which is heaven sent because I make dinner every night and it helps me not leave the kitchen look like a tornado went through it. Or at least tries to anyway. Really simple ingredients. We're talking about heavy cream. I added the original recipe I saw. It was supposed to be for mushrooms, but Big Daddy's not a fan of mushrooms. So I substituted mushrooms for chicken, and then I threw in some spinach that we had on hand, which I normally use the spinach for smoothies, but my blender blew up, as I mentioned earlier. So, yeah, it was sort of a good amalgamation of just really clean ingredients, and it turned out really well. And of course, I topped it off with some shredded Parmesan cheese. It was really heavenly. So heavenly, in fact, I had some for breakfast this morning. I just went ahead and said, forget it. It was that good.
Nice.
Even Big Daddy, who is not a gnocchi fan,
Nope.
you ate the heck out of that.
I did.
Which I was really impressed. I was just like, wow, it is Big Daddy approved.
Yeah, it's kind of like Mikey, I kind of gave my approval in the corner, but at the same time, I was very, very impressed.
So, yeah, I just so proud of that recipe. And it's just something that, it's very quick and easy to put together with stuff that you most likely have in your pantry or in the freezer. And, the best part, like I said before, it was done in 30 minutes. So, it's rare that we both have recipes that we both make.
Yeah,
Like the
it's
ones we
very
make
rare.
ourselves.
Very rare for me. My recipe is I can play the bass line, but, I will go on so many different variants and strains because it's just, this site on, you just kind of go with the feeling that the ancestors give you. If they say season, I season. If it just doesn't look right, I just kind of don't do it.
Okay. Well, on that note, I just wanted to take an opportunity to say thanks again for listening to the Gourmet Goober podcast. Big Daddy, where can they hear you? Or where can they catch you online?
Okay, you can find me online at T Outlaw. That would be on Elon Musk Twitter. And you can also find me on Instagram at T Outlaw Josie Wells. And hopefully both of those recipes will be available online for your consumption.
Yeah, they'll be online on our website at thegourmetgoober.com. By the way, you can always drop us a line at thegourmetgoober@gmail.com. That's where you can share your own best thing you ate this week and maybe hear it on the show, thoughts on the show, feedback, anything you want. That's the place to do it. Also, you can find us at Facebook, like I said earlier, at the Gourmet Goober blog, because we started off as a blog. And, of course, you can always reach me, JJ Outlaw, at JJ Outlaw on Twitter and at Gourmet Goober on Instagram. Yes. Oh, one last thing, because I know that if you follow our Instagram page, our official doggy producer, Braxton, has been doing kind of an Instagram takeover where he has been posting on the site.
Wait a minute. This dog didn't have thumbs.
Yeah, but hey, our dog is very, very popular on the gram, just so you know.
Okay.
So, those of you who inquired know he does not have an Instagram page yet. Although he may soon, because, we got to take care of our viral superstar over here.
Oh, good Lord.
But in the meantime, for all you guys listening, thank you so much for being a part of the Gourmet Goober podcast. Oh, go ahead and check us out. By the way, I know I mentioned it earlier as far as us being featured on Apple Podcasts, so thanks again for that. And we'll put the link in the show notes as well. So until next time, happy eating.
Happy eating.